guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm covering 90 Day Fiance The Other Way Season 1 Episode 8, I believe. This episode, I feel like it was kind of all over the place. We kind of were experiencing different pieces of everyone's storyline, but I definitely think that TLC needs to be airing more time with this show. If we're on episode 8, I really haven't seen any type of extreme drama or any, like, usually when they're doing a season, there's like a peak where they kind of align everyone's story, where they get to like the most drama, but at this point they haven't gotten there, so it's kind of a little disappointing. Plus they don't have enough time, so they don't usually show a specific couple. So for this week they didn't show Paul and Karine at all. So with that being said, let's start off with Jenny and Sumit. So we last saw Jenny and Sumit when Sumit told Jenny that he quit his job and that he can't, I guess, financially support her like he thought he could, because he wanted to be there for her as she's gotten used to living in India. So finally Jenny gets to meet Sumit's friends, and it was so sweet. Like, oh, if I could find a man like Sumit, that like he heard other people talking in his language, talking about Jenny, and instead of just kind of like brushing it off and anything, he's like, no, I'm gonna stick up for my girl. And he was like, hey, you guys over there, she might not understand what you're saying, but I understand what you're saying, and like, you guys need to cut it out. You guys think you think you guys are all haha funny and stuff, but it's not funny type of thing. And I was like, Sumit, like, I'm in love. I thought that was like really, really amazing and nice of him to stand up for his girl. They determine that they want to get married, and they go to figure out like what the process entails. They find out that they have to send some kind of notice to his permanent address, which his permanent address is his parents' address. And when they send the notice, his parents can like object to it, and that would entail some kind of legal battle, which could cost a lot. So there's obviously a chance that they might not be able to get married, because if their parents object to it, it'll get really expensive, and they already are tight with cash right now, so we'll see what happens with that. So next we're gonna do Tiffany and Ronald. Really wasn't much with them. They show you the aftermath of Ron's bachelor party. He tells Tiffany the truth, and apparently they're getting married in like a couple days, which I don't understand the whole concept of, we're gonna get married, then I'm gonna see if I want to live here. I would think it should go the opposite way, where you should live there first and then see if you want to get married to him, because you don't know him. Even if you've been going out for blah blah blah, if you add up the time that they've actually been together, it hasn't been long, so you really don't know him. So I don't know. They're like, I think about 5 days out to get married, and I don't understand why she's now like thinking like, I don't know if I should get married to you, and if I get married, I don't know if I'm gonna stay and move here. Like, what's the point of getting married? Ronald, if he's really serious about being sober and not going back in, slipping back into his old ways, he needs to really prove it to Tiffany, because he participated in everything she said she did not want him to. And he's a grown man. He was not handcuffed. There was no gun to his head. If he wanted to, he could just essentially tell them like, no guys, this is not what I'm about. I'm really committed to getting married and settling down and being serious. No, I'm not participating in this. So I don't know about you, Ronald, but that's all with them. It was literally a conversation. Next we have Corey and Evelyn. I'm not really seeing Evelyn being somewhat nice to Corey this episode. He's still getting used to living in her village. It's I think her brother's birthday, so they had to I guess come there with something, and she said like, okay, we're gonna buy the chicken. in her village, they killed a chicken, so it's as fresh as it can get. I think Corey was acting a bit like a baby because his whole, I can understand if he was just like, oh, you know, I'm a vegetarian, I don't believe in that, but he's like, oh, like, why can't we just go to the store and buy it? I'm like, Corey, that's how they be killing chickens. Taking off their feathers, cleaning them up, and putting them in the store. You're just getting it, this is what it looks like, this is what you're paying for in the store, type of thing. It's the same thing, like, it's no big deal. Anyways, he was whining about that. I was kind of just like, who cares? So the party seems like seems like they're having a good time, and I don't know who suggests it, but like I think Evelyn suggests like, oh, why don't you use some magic? So she's like, okay, anyone wants to see the magic, come here. Everyone came to see. I wasn't paying attention to what he was doing exactly, but he was able to guess whatever card they picked out. And no one was like, oh my god, ah! Everyone was like, And like people I guess think that it's black magic, which I just think sometimes they're unfamiliar with illusions and the way that magic works, because it's not necessarily black magic, it's just an illusion. And I don't know, I just think that maybe those are just their beliefs, and that they can believe whatever they want to believe. And I feel like Corey handled it as the best he could. Kind of just said like, okay, well, this is not black magic, but well, maybe I'll avoid doing magic tricks around you guys because you guys are not really into that type of stuff. But otherwise than that, it is nice to see them get along and have a relatively good segment. So next we're going to do Laura and Aladdin. So Laura arrives in Qatar, and she hasn't spoken to Aladdin within like a day or something, which I'm not flying nowhere unless I know for sure in my heart, my soul, my mind that you want me to be there, and you can't wait for me to be there. She took a chance and she went there and she said like, Aladdin best be there. Like, I'm like, okay. It was really, really sweet to see, like, at least these guys that you see on this show are showing affection towards their women. No matter how old their woman is or how different they look, they're actually showing affection. So he showed out too much affection to the point that it's essentially against the law. He's not unable to kiss her. But I swear all he did was kiss her on the cheek. He didn't like smooch or no tongue or anything. He just kind of kissed her on the cheek. But he was like, Roses there. He had his friends there. Like, he's not embarrassed of her. And I'm sorry, I know these are two different shows, but sometimes I can't help but compare them with like Nicole and Azin. Of like, Azin's very like, which Aladdin is like, this is my boo, come here baby. I don't even care if they kick me out of the country, like, I'm so happy to see you, but I missed you. He had his friends there meeting her. He's not embarrassed to show her off. She didn't appreciate that his friends were there because they still have a lot of unanswered questions and things they need to clear up based on how they've been acting. But it was nice to see them interact and stuff, and like him like really embrace his girl. So he brings her to the apartment, which she does. I do have to agree, she is complaining a lot because like I can understand if you were like in the States and you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, but you're in a whole different country and culture, and like there's some things you gotta have to get used to. So Aladdin's other place had cockroaches, which I hate cockroaches too, but if it's common there, like, I can't be surprised. He could have cleaned up the place a little bit more. There's a little things sprinkled around everywhere. She was kind of complaining about the smell, which that's something you can easily get rid of. You can clean the place a little bit more, open windows, spray Febreze, something like. So Alden expresses that he wants to get to Jiggy Jiggy real quick, and every time he says that, it cracks me up because of what Laura says about his Jiggy Jiggy skills, and they're not up to par. And Laura's acting her age, I have to say, when she was kind of like, she was holding her lower back, and she was saying like how her feet were killing her, but she was like, okay, let's get down to this Jiggy Jiggy time. So he enjoys having sex with her, so kudos to them. But hopefully he can get better at it. And then last but not least, we have Jihoon and Devin, Drusilla and his family. I have to say that because Drusilla wasn't here, like, because she left, which I'm like, who has money to be like flying in to take up the baby and flying out? Because she left, I feel like it was a very, like, I don't know, lighter atmosphere, because I feel like Drusilla can stress you out, and they really did get to, like, Jihoon's parents really did get to know Devin, and their English is not that terrible, and it seems like they do understand somewhat of what she's saying. But even though they were kind of a little shady in the beginning, which they have the right to be shady, I think essentially they embraced Devin and they welcomed her. She took them on a tour of Vegas with the double-decker tour bus. They loved that. They went to go eat and they loved the food. And it was really, really sweet for Jihoon's dad to say, like, welcome to the family. And his mom, even though I feel like his mom is still, like, a little bit shady, where she's like, yeah, I like Devin, she's cute, type of thing. I think that it's nice to see that they approve of the relationship, and they've even said that they like Drusilla, and they're embracing her. So she's now definitely moving to South Korea, and at least she has that weight lifted off her back, because his parents are only there for a week. So there's so much you can get done within that time. So it's nice to know when they leave, like, they like me and they approve of our relationship. So, ooh, that was out of focus. So yeah, that concludes my recap of 90 Fiance the Other Way. Season 1, episode 8, I believe. I just wish I had more of this versus Happily Ever After, but I'm excited to see where these couples' relationships end up. So with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
I'm just a dumb cunt, fucking sick and tired of it. Maybe I could front love, maybe I could buy a zip, maybe I get fucked up. Next time I could save some. Why it's gotta be like this? Why it's gotta be that way? Put it inside. Feel so